that you have some resources that are available through the WBDC. So do know that if you ever need a business advisor in your corner, you can always come to the WBDC. So I'm going to begin with talking about the WBDC if you're not familiar with us. The Women's Business Development Center envisions a world where diverse business owners have an equitable opportunity to compete and succeed in the marketplace. We work to achieve this by delivering programs and services that help to disseminate the biases, barriers, and the systems that are created and maintained in an uneven playing field for diverse entrepreneurs. The mission of the WBDC is to support and accelerate business development and growth, targeting women and serving veterans and other underserved communities to strengthen their participation in and impact on the economy. So as you can see on this map, we have different locations. Our headquarters are right here in downtown Chicago. Even though we target women, we do not just serve women, we serve everyone. So you are in good company when you come to the WBDC. So I do want to go over some housekeeping. Marty said a couple, but I want to let you know that this is an interactive webinar. You will be asked to come off mute. So please, now is not the time to be shy. You are definitely in a safe environment. I want to give you as much feedback as I possibly can because I want to make sure that you are able to engage your listeners because as business owners, sometimes we get so caught up in what we say and what we're doing that we don't really connect with those that are listening to us. So this is your opportunity to do just that. This is your practice ground. I will give you as much feedback as I possibly can during this time. I want you to raise your hand if you would like to volunteer to answer the questions that will be posed on the screen. You'll be asked to unmute. Marty will call you out, let you know that he is going to open you up to the opportunity to unmute yourself. And I want you to be mindful that this is a space with other business owners, and I do want you to take the opportunity to network with each other. So it would be nice if you say your name, tell us your business name, where you're located, what side of town, even if you're online. We definitely want to make sure that you get out there. So the biggest thing here is you want to take some good notes. Capitalizing that GOOD because you want to take this information and you want to apply it to your business as you see fit. Some of these things are going to apply to you and some are not, and that's okay. Take the information you need and run with it. Please feel free to let me know and if you or let Marty know in the chat that you have an additional question, you're not able to come off mute, and we'll try to address those as well. So again, get your pens and paper ready. I do want you to be as comfortable and as free to interact as you see fit. I will definitely be mindful of time and try not to let those who don't know when to wrap it up. I'll let you know when it's time to wrap it up because we do want to make sure that we are very respectful of everyone's time here today and that everyone is able to get the information that they need. So let's go ahead and jump into this agenda. So for today, we're going to talk about the brand story because your business begins with your story. Everyone has one, so you have to be able to share. Then we're talking about adaptability. So you have to adapt your brand story. Remember, it is a place where you start and you grow. So we want to make sure that you adapt that. Next, we're going to talk about sharing the love. You have to love your listeners because there is a certain level of respect that goes along with that. Next is the visual appeal. We all love the colors that we have selected for our business, but is it the right visual for our business? So here's the things that we're going to talk about. So let's jump into the first one, talking about your brand story. I know you see this lovely picture here. Don't worry, I'm going to come and tell you all about her right there. But let's talk about brand story. Your brand story is pretty much what narrates the core of your business. So you think about your business and you want to talk about it, you have to tailor this brand story to whatever audience that you're speaking to. Think of them and have them in your mind, in your forefront, because this is a powerful tool because it communicates a brand that is memorable in some kind of way. It provides a brief backstory that is relatable, it's authentic, and it illuminates the passion. A good brand story, it can answer the questions who, what, when, where, why, and how. And it answers those things in such a concise way. So when we talk about answering those questions of who, what, when, where, why, and how, let's see about the what, the who. So it is going to describe who you are as a business owner, your team, and your personal journey that led to the starting of your business. Then the what. This explains what your business actually does. What do you do? Your products, your services. What problem are you solving? And what needs do your customer have that you need to meet? The why. This is where you share what motivates you, the passion behind your business. It explains why you do what you do, the purpose that drives you, what keeps you going, and what impact, the positive impact that you want to make. And then there's the how. This describes how your business actually operates. What unique approaches are you taking? And what are the values that guide your decisions and your actions? So I have this picture up here. This is Tabitha Brown. Tabitha Brown is a social media influencer, an actress, mom. She has products and she has so much going on. Now, that's who you see, but what's her actual brand story? Well, in a very concise way, here's what happened. So Tabitha Brown suffered health challenges some time ago, and after she did some research, she decided to give veganism a hand, a try, something to get her body feeling good. And she thought that this would be a great idea for her to try. Well, in 2017, she did just that. And she saw the benefits right away. And so when she saw those benefits, she decided she was going to introduce it to her family, to her friends. And then she was like, you know what? This is taking off. Let me go ahead and share this with the masses. And so she went to social media and she decided to share outside of her immediate circle with what veganism has done for her. And she wanted to help heal people that were suffering just like her, letting people know that you're not alone. She took it to social media and her story, her brand, it all took off. So, did you see how concise it answered that who, what, when, where, why, and how? So the audience knows immediately who this lady is, and there's some relatability to her story. You may not be a vegan, but you might be suffering with physical ailments of some sort and trying to find that thing that is going to give you the relief that you've been looking for. So, why not give her type of relief a try? It worked for her. It might work for you, but of course, you would do your research. You would see your doctors and you would have these talks and you would try to apply some of her methods to what you do. So now here's the thing. We know about Tabitha Brown. We have her brand story. I would like for you to take your hand and jot down your brand story. Remember, this is a short, concise, easy way in which you can talk about how you started your journey, your business, what made you do that. As you think about this, think about just some small elements that you could include that are relatable and authentic and actually showcases your passion for why you do what you do. So I want you to take 1 minute and I want you to jot these things down. Remember, it is not a storybook. It is just a concise way of telling us your passion, your dream, how your business came to be. So take 1 minute and do so. 20 more seconds. Okay. Now, I'm sure many of you are like, oh, I got so much more to say. That's fine. That's fine. You can always go back and you can edit yourself as you see fit. I just want to know, is there anyone out there who would like to be brave and take this opportunity to share your brand story? I would love for you to start with your name, start with your business name, tell us where your business is located, and then tell us your story. Remember, the story is about you. Who is you? What, your business? When, when did you start? Where did your business start and where you are now? And how? Now, of course, this will be very quick and to the point. So let's see what you got. Marty, do we have any volunteers who are raising their hand or maybe spoke in the chat that they want to give it a try?
Oh, yeah, just got one.
Excellent.
Yeah, Melinda, I'm gonna, oh, we've got two. I'm gonna start with Melinda first.
Okay.
Melinda,
Hi, Melinda.
Hi, my name's Melinda Martinez Epperson, and I started home-based preschool and kindergarten in Albany Park with the goal of growing to a brick and mortar location and franchising. I started because I had a really difficult early childhood, and my social emotional needs were not met. So I wanted to provide holistic education where all children meet using a whole child approach. And so I know that there's a lot of children out there who have difficult childhoods and they need that support. So that's why I started the Play Lab.
Excellent. Thank you, Melinda. And thank you so much for being vulnerable and telling us your experience because that is pretty much how we're going to connect to you. And we want to buy into your business just based off of you being authentic and sharing your experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Myeisha.
You're
thanks,
welcome.
Melinda. Next up, we've got Valencia Green.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Yaya, and the name of my business is With the Yaya. I live on the south side of Chicago. I am a doula agency, and I've been helping family and friends have the best possible healthy birthing experience for over 20 plus years.
Excellent. Now tell me about you and how you connect to that. So your
I'm not
experience. Did you have a doula when you gave birth? Did you have children?
No, actually I don't have any children.
Okay. So what brought you to be a doula?
My family and friends would tell me they're pregnant, and I organically just stepped in and started helping where I saw fit, where I saw the need.
Excellent. So Valencia, as you can see, your brand story needs to start with you. You have to say how you connect to this. You have to say that you have enjoyed being there for others when they were in the childbirthing stage. And talk about what that did for you. Because remember, your brand, yeah, you're a doula, that's great. But you could talk about, I don't have children, but I receive such great passion when I'm able to help a mother give birth to her child and to help her through the pains that may come with it and to make things comfortable for her. I love serving others. So you see how I did that? So that's the
Yes.
part that you want to talk about. I love the fact that you put in there, your business, where you're based and all of that and what you do, but that connection that you have to your brand, that's what's important. We need to hear about you. Okay?
So you say the name for who you are, your name, your location, and then I've enjoyed helping. Is that the order correct?
Sure. It doesn't matter what order you put it in. The point is
Okay.
that you make sure that you tell your story, how you connect, how this business came to be. Because you can't just say, oh, they hired me. Like no one
Okay.
hired you. You have to show how you got there. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was excellent. Thank you so much. Now, I
Yep,
know we'll
thank you
probably
both.
have more hands probably raised by now because they know how this goes. and that's okay. But I do want to go ahead and I want to put the hands down for this one. And trust me, we'll have more opportunities for you to speak on your businesses. I want to thank the two that did go. I definitely appreciate it. And I'm glad that you're open to even being brave to come and speak on behalf of your business. So we know what the brand story is. The brand story is you telling your story where it is powerful, it is memorable, your audience can relate to you, and you are being your authentic selves. Based on the two that I've heard, it was wonderful to hear the passion behind what they do and the just having that type of enthusiasm for their businesses and being able to speak with such light is awesome. That's what your audience wants to hear. So let's move on to the next one. So here we are talking about how you adapt your story. We're talking about that story that you just told, this brand story that you just wrote down. This is an area where some people kind of get stuck because they get stuck telling the same story over and over and over again. And thus they lose their zeal. They lose that energy behind the story that they tell. Here's the thing. If you're bored telling the story, your audience is going to be bored hearing this story. They need to hear the adaptability where you are making this story grow. Remember, your brand story, it's not the end all. It is an ever evolving story that you are telling, and it has to live as such. Because the minute that you decide that you're not going to let that thing evolve, then your audience is not going to hear you at all. You have to reflect the changes that are taking place in your organization and be ready to share that. And you have to be open to feedback from your customers, open to feedback from your family, open to feedback from even yourself, because sometimes you can actually look and go, that don't look right. And then you go and you change it, or that didn't come out right. I think I need to clarify some things. Whatever the case is, you want to make sure that your story is growing, evolving, adapting to changes that you have either gone through. Maybe the market has even changed. So we heard Melinda talk about her daycare and how it's home based, but she's growing, evolving to a brick and mortar. So there is a change there. Her brand story is going to change. It is going to talk about how it started at her home and then how it evolved to a center with more employees, more space, more kids, and such. And we know when that happens, a lot happens within the business, a lot of ups and downs and trials because now you're in a new space, right? So you have to change your story, adapt it to the changes, update some things so that you can make sure that your audience who's hearing those changes understands that, hey, this is a business that's been around and has suffered through some things, but it's still here. And so you have to make sure that you could do that. So when we talk about adapting a story, let's go back to good old Tabitha Brown. If Tabitha Brown tells her story, do you think that she would tell it the same way for every single listener? If she did so, what would happen to her? What would happen to her brand? Do you think that she would be where she is now if she kept telling the same story about how she started? Or would she gain more listeners by talking about where she is now as opposed to where she started? So think about it. When you talk about this brand story, whatever you wrote down now, how would you keep it fresh and interesting? What will you do? And then also, do you alter the content? Think about how long you've been in business. Is this something that has been an evolving thing for you? So for this one, I want you to think now. I want you to think about how long you've been in business, some changes you have seen, and where you would like to go. So write this down. How long you've been in business, some changes you have experienced, and where you would like to go. And you could put a timeline on that. You could say in 6 months, I would like to be here. In 5 years, I would like to be there. 1 minute, write it down. 30 seconds. You're writing down the where you are, of the changes that you have, how many years you've been, or how long you've been in business, what changes you have seen, and where you would like to go. How long you've been in business, the changes you have seen or experienced, and where you would like to go. Ten seconds. Okay, take a breath. Look at what you've written. It's okay if you didn't finish. Don't worry, I'm not collecting, I'm not grading. And I want you to raise your hand if you would like to tell us those things about your business. Remember, always start with your name, your business name, where you're located, and then go into answering those three. Do we have any volunteers?
I don't see any hands raised yet.
Okay,
Yeah, we got one.
okay.
All right, Melinda.
Hi, my name is Melinda. My business is the Play Lab, and we're located in Albany Park. With the pandemic, there was a lot of difficulties in education, and I've always been small class sizes, and I think even more so now, people want small class sizes for safety and more personal attention. So that I think the market increased even more. So there's a lot of opportunities to grow into brick and mortar and franchising. So I'm really excited about that.
Excellent, excellent. And how long have you been in business?
Since 2019, but I wasn't growing at that time. I was just worried about growing into group licensing, not into brick and mortar. So it was always a long-term goal. So it wasn't something I was pushing as quickly as I am now. So now I'm getting coaching and mentoring to do that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing again, Melinda.
Thank you.
Do we have another? And it's okay if you're not ready. This is just practice ground for you. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just you being able to share and be able to learn how to adapt your brand story to your listener. So as you know, here we're in a space where there are many different business owners who come from many different walks of life. And so sometimes you want to just tell the basic, but then there's other times where you want to expand a little bit more based on the listener that you have in front of you. So if we want to look at our listener, there's some key things that we need to pay attention to when it comes to our listener. We really need to love them. We got to love our listeners. And we love our listeners by respecting the differences that our listeners might have from us. We live in a melting pot of different cultures, and thus everybody have different ideas, they have different norms, social norms, and values are different. It exists. We have to coexist with people who are different from us. You have to be mindful of these differences and actually be okay with not everyone wanting to go along with your business. Your business isn't fit for everyone. It's not. You have to present your ideas, but you cannot force your listeners to take those ideas and run with them. You can't. Your audience could be investors, could be employees, stakeholders, customers, or the media. You must show love to them in a very strategic way. Be sure that your message is well received. In order to do that, how do you show love to your listeners? How do you show that how do you know that the message that you are giving is well received when you do talk to them? What do you know about them that actually helps you to show the right kind of love? So let's think about that for a moment. So have a particular listener in mind. Could be a customer. It could be an employee or maybe even a future employee, a candidate that you want to hire. How do you talk about your business, but show love and respect to the person you're sitting across from? What do you say? How do you know that you are showing love to them? Because let's think about it. Go back to Tabitha Brown. We're going to use her throughout because I like Tabitha Brown. If Tabitha Brown only geared her story towards vegans and ignored those who opposed it, how far would she get in her business of being a social media influencer? If she wasn't pleasant and inspiring, would she have the same kind of following and the same kind of opportunities? So that's someone who has learned to show love to her listeners. But what if she didn't? What if she was rude and disrespectful and told people, if you don't do vegan, you ain't gonna make it? So think about you, your business. How do you show love to your listeners? Do you change what you say based on who's in front of you? Take a moment, think about it. And I would like for someone who hasn't gone, it's your opportunity to chime in. Tell us, how do you show love to your listeners? So, Marty, do we have any volunteers?
We don't yet.
Okay.
Oh, I see. All right, we've got one, and we've got one in the chat. So Adam, there's a thing that you can raise your hand in Zoom, and then I'll get to you. But first, we've got Tony, Miss Neal. I'm going to allow you to talk.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted. Am I unmuted?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can
Yep,
hear
we can
you.
hear you.
Okay. Hi, good morning. My name is Tanja. I know you were having a difficult time pronouncing it. I think that any event where you're
Hold on,
trying
wait,
to
before you go, your name, your business, and where you're located.
Okay. My name is Tanya, and I'm located in the suburban area of Chicago. My business is Blinded, but Now I See. And it aims to actually help individuals in any aspects of their lives, and steering them towards, what's important to them, where do they want to go, more so pertaining though to the younger individuals who are struggling a bit and not having an advocate for themselves. For me, in my line of what I do, I feel like I've been through so much myself that I'm very understanding to a person. But if it's a situation that I'm not understanding to, I listen. And I take in my listening skills to see if, like, can I relate, or by placing myself in that individual's shoes. So I think that even with any business, you just need to listen to what's being asked of you.
That's excellent. And so you adapt your message based on what you received and as a result of them speaking to you.
Correct.
And so without you even explaining what you do, it sounds like a therapeutic service, correct?
Kind of, yes. I'd more so call it a mentorship.
Very good. I mean, it sounds wonderful. And the fact that you are taking the time to even listen to them first before you speak is excellent, because in that type of work, how are you going to be able to show empathy if you don't listen, right?
I agree.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All
And
right,
do we
thank
have
you,
another?
Tanja. Yep, we've got another. Adam.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, Adam. Good
Yep.
morning.
Great. My name is Adam. I have a business idea to begin in Hyde Park called Movement in Water. I've been a swimmer, I guess, since I was 8 years old, and I enjoy it, and I'm trying to bring that joy to other people, all ages, all body types. Um, if you're well enough and are interested in learning one of The strokes freestyle, great. And if you're in a physical space where your body doesn't enable you that way, there's still ways to find joy moving your body. And I haven't started the business, but I need to get licensed and be a swim instructor and again get certification for CPR. Um, so that's where I'm at. Did I answer the question of how
So
to show love? And listen is just mainly understanding on the basis that some people may not feel comfortable in water to begin with, and just helping through that process of finding comfortability in water.
excellent. So it sounds like when people may have some type of fear of water, you listen to what that fear is, and then you try to address it the best you can by giving them some type of comfort level of empathy, but also maybe exposing them to opportunities to try water in a safe environment.
Yeah, exactly. It's an indoor swimming pool that I'm lucky to have in my building that is a health club in which there's, private space in which it can be one-on-one or in a group setting. Uh, and I'm excited to bring that to Chicago and Hyde Park specifically.
Excellent. It sounds wonderful. And I'm sure that when you have your sign up for classes, that it will definitely shine with you listening more than speaking, because you definitely want to uncover that underlying fear that they might have.
Right.
So excellent. Good job. Thank you so much for sharing, Adam.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I appreciate you guys volunteering for this. I do want to go ahead and talk more about this, idea of love. I think we are in a position where loving our neighbors isn't as easy as we would like for it to be. But as business owners, we have to find a way to actually show love to them, even though we know that we don't have the commonalities that we would like to have. But deep down inside, we actually do have common ground. You have to be the one to listen more, to find out where that common ground is and then speak on those things. Remember, not every business is for everyone. Your job as a business owner is to present your business, and then you see if that is a good fit for the person you're speaking to, and be okay if they walk away saying it's not for me, even though deep down inside you might be like, yeah, but this is the perfect place for you to be, right? So you have to scale back and allow people to be human and make their own decisions, especially adults, right? All right, so we know how to love our listeners. We know that we need to become listeners first, and then we can love them. All right, so let's talk about the visual appeal. So when it comes to your brand, there is a visual appeal that goes into place. Your logos, your colors, your pictures, all of that. It needs to reflect you and your story. It needs to be something that stands out, right? The visuals that you use. So creating something that you believe will appeal to your audience without pointing inward is really a disservice. It does injustice to your brand story. So when you think about the things that you have visually for your business, does it really reflect who you are and the story you tell from your core? Remember, this starts with you and why you are passionate about this business, what you want to deliver to others. Because of course, you're not going to select a product design for a specific gender in mind. You have the color that really doesn't go along with that gender. So you have to be very specific as to who you are targeting and how your brand in a visual way is going to appeal to them. So when you think about your business and you think about your visuals, put yourself in the shoes of your audience. Would you want to see what you're showing your audience? Would you want to see that as a customer? Your brand should look like you, and it should be consistent with your brand. So whatever you got that you have as a visual, your brand needs to look like you, and it needs to be consistent with your brand. So think about your brand story. Think about the things that you are showing others. Think about logos. Think about product placement. Think about all of that. Does it reflect who you are? So let's go back to our good old Tabitha Brown and let's talk about her. Because before she even had a product, a partnership with Target, a restaurant, or anything, she had her face and her voice. That's all she had on social media. Her most valuable visual aid was herself. She was authentic, always to her audience, showcased her positivity, made sure she was vulnerable, but she didn't have products when she first began posting on social media. She talked about her experiences. She hosted virtual live events and she included her family. So we were able to see her as a mom, as a daughter, as a sister, and hear about her as a daughter because her mother passed away. But we were able to see all of that. So are you brave enough to let your face and your voice be in front of your audience? Are you comfortable enough in your own skin and in your own confidence to show your audience who you are? Because remember, your business first starts with you. You're the face of it. You, your story, all of that. It has to be shown to your audience. But you have to make sure that you are presenting your best self. Look at your background on your social media accounts. When you go live or when you're posting something, are there specific colors that really gravitate towards who you are and your brand, your identity? It's all of that, all encompassing. So if you have a logo, tell us about it. How did you choose this logo? What process did you go through with selecting the colors that you use? If you have a product, tell me about the product. How did you test your product design to make sure that it was reaching the audience that you intended? Take a moment, think about it. How did you choose your logo? How did you test your product design? Give you a minute. Think about it. If you don't need the minute and you just want to tell us how, feel free to raise your hand. Jump in the chat, let us know you want to go ahead and volunteer to tell us about it.
Yep, it looks like we got 2 volunteers.
Excellent.
You ready now for the first one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. Cruzanne, do you unmute yourself?
You're still on mute if you're trying to talk to us. You have to hit
Yeah.
the button.
Cruzanne Lewis, you're able to chat now if you just unmute yourself.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna give you a second to figure that out. Next up, we've got Connie. Connie, you're able to chat if you unmute yourself.
Hi, my name is Connie Luce. I am the owner president of a company named Lux Ducks, Luxeducts. I chose the logo because what we do is we do air duct cleaning, dryer vent cleaning, and commercial cleaning for commercial and residential spaces throughout the Chicagoland area and surrounding states. We've been in business since 2019. I started the business because I was diagnosed with a heart condition, and my neurologist suggested that I have the ducts cleaned because I was suffering from migraines. So I did, and a unscrupulous company came in and just blew a little bit of air, basically kicked up dirt throughout the property. They were in and out in 2 hours, and I took that opportunity to make sure that people are educated on the importance of indoor air quality. So our logo is a big hot pink duck because my daughter loved the yellow rubber duckies, and yellow is not my favorite color, but hot pink is. So I incorporated that, and I saw a scripty Lux with the I don't know, calligraphy, and then ducks just really big. And a lot of family and friends said that that was not a good logo because it represented too much femininity. Well, I said, I'm doing it anyways because it's my favorite color. So I did. And now you wouldn't believe the amount of compliments we get from men and women all across the board, every demographic, purple, green, yellow, blue, whatever it may be. So I'm happy that I went with that choice.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Connie, for being so vulnerable with us and sharing your story. It's emotional, but in the end, you have seen success as a result of taking what you went through and making it better for others so that they can avoid some of the things that you have experienced. So I think that when it comes to logo design, yes, you should stick with the things that bring you joy, but also the things that stand out, right? Like the pink duck would stand out to me because we see, the regular yellow, yellow rubber duckies and all of that. We've seen those, but to have a logo that is a pink duck is awesome because it will really stand out. Thank you so much. You have probably inspired someone to probably not listen to their family so much. But I think that you paying attention to the feedback that you've gotten from others outside of your family, showing that that duck actually stands out and the calligraphy of Lux, and being able to know that that combination stands out above all the rest because someone probably wants you to have something like a vacuum cleaner or something that you have for like Stanley Steamer or those companies that we know who do this type of work. We've seen their logos, but they don't really stand out as much as something as what you have. So I'm glad that you were able to be uniquely you and that it is working for you. So fantastic. Thank you again for sharing. Is there anyone else?
Yeah, thanks again, Connie. And then Cruzanne, I'm gonna allow you to talk again. If you can unmute yourself.
Did I get it right this time?
You got it. Good
Awesome.
job.
Thank you for giving me a second chance. Um, couldn't figure it out. I'm Cruz, and my business is Healthy Small Steps. I'm in Antioch, Illinois, and my logo really reflects who I am. And I had to go against other people's opinions that it was too casual, it was too light. But Healthy Small Steps, I have a line of flip-flops underneath the words lime green, taking small steps. And then a lot of my flyers I pass around, it's a nutrition company, have a pink smiley face with sunglasses on. And the more I stopped listening to people who said I should be more, I don't know, corporate business, like whatever they thought, and just was like, I let my fun and silly side out, things are happening more.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing, Cruz. Yeah, sometimes you have to block out the noise. But while you're doing that, still do your research. Still ask, for feedback for outside, especially from customers. When you have your customer in front of you, say, what drew you to me? Do you like my logo? And ask, does it stand out to you? If you saw this in the field of other logos, would you actually be gravitated towards this? Yes or no? Like that's how you do your product testing, right? So I think that, blocking out the noise is excellent, but I still want you to make sure that you're doing your research and you're making sure that you're making the impact that you need to make in the marketplace based on your business. So it's great that you are finding success because with this strategy of trying to make sure that you have the perfect look, it always go back to, does this represent me? Would I stand firm in my decisions for having this? Is there something in it that really looks like me? And you're saying with flip-flops, that may be your everyday style, right?
Yes.
and so it reflects who you are. And then when we talked about the hot pink with the duck, that reflected that's her favorite color. And it works for her. But it also needs to work for you. as a customer, as a stakeholder, as others. Like if you are patronizing a business, does what they have reflect who you are? I know for me, I can definitely relate to the flip flops. Summertime, these toes are out. So if I see that it's going to be fun and exciting, it's going to bring me to let me know, like, yeah, this is good. This is a part of who I am too. So I could definitely see that being a business that I might want to be a patron of. So thank you so much for sharing, Cruz.
Thank you very much. It helps to get people to lighten up, because when you're talking about whether it's getting healthy, having more energy, or losing weight, it can be very heavy conversation. And when they lighten up, then they realize we can take baby steps and still get there.
Exactly. Perfectly said. I mean, it is just so awesome to understand that you don't have to be the regular corporate America look, right? Be unique, stand out. These logos that are on the screen right now, these are things that we have seen. They have been around. These are corporations. And even they will change sometimes with their logos. Facebook didn't always look that way. It happens. You evolve, you change the look of things, and you make things happen where my audience will probably gravitate more to some things and be you in it all. So the visual appeal, make sure that if you are putting yourself out there, there needs to be some sort of visual appeal for your audience. Even if it's you, your face, your voice, I highly recommend, if you have not, that you go ahead and interact with your audience members on social media through maybe a 30-second video, something, some kind of advice. The face is always going to keep people coming back. They need to interact with you. Okay. Well, I do want to point out that here at the WBDC, we are definitely here to help. I know that this did not answer all of your questions, but this is a good place to start. You're here because you saw an interesting topic and maybe one that you can relate to. And I definitely want to put it out there that we are here to help still at the WBDC. Feel free to look up our website, see the different programs and services that we do offer, and see if it's something that you might be able to take advantage of. For example, like right now, I am going to be hosting a 10-week virtual business cohort starting next week. This is all about scale higher. Here, this is where businesses come together in a small cohort, not only to network, but to get some good information from subject matter experts. You can have one-on-one coaching, talking about branding and digital tools, where we have the opportunity to connect you as a business person to others. This is a cohort that is open to those who've been in business for 2 or more years. You have $75,000 in revenue. This can be self-employed, can be a state growth vision, might not have or know how to use tech tools, but we're here to help you out with this. It is a 10-week commitment, and it starts on Wednesday, and it goes every Wednesday from 9:30 to 12:30. So I definitely want you to be a part of it. If you're someone who's looking to grow your business, to scale it in any type of way, we're definitely here to support you. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. The focus here is on using tech tools and understanding your business inside and out, and how you can grow it to where you want it to be. If you would like more information about that, feel free to email me or check out the WBDC's website, and you can call the front desk and let them know you're interested in Scale Higher. It is definitely a great opportunity for you as a business person to grow to wherever you want to go. And we will always support the dreams and missions and the audacious goals that you might have in mind for yourself and for your business. So I thank you so much for allowing me this morning to meet with all of you. I do want to see if there are any last minute questions or comments or concerns that you might have in these last 5 minutes that we have together. I would like to address those. Marty, if there's anything in the chat that you might want to bring up, please feel free to share that as well. For some reason, I can't see the chat. I have too many screens open.
Oh no. Yep, we've got one person with their hand raised, so I'm gonna unmute Karen.
Good morning, Karen. If you're speaking, you are still on mute. So make sure you hit that microphone button.
Good morning, Myeisha. I'm sorry, I'm a little late today. Um, I'd like to ask you a question. Is there any opportunity that we would like to scale our business? And we're 3 years in business, and you have for the Northwest side, or
Oh, yes.
besides going to my community, because I've been in boot camps before and Vets Pass with my flyers, and I work with this Chicagoland Chamber. But now that you mentioned, Myeisha, this scaling your business, this boot camp, I
If you
don't
want,
make so many.
no,
Yes,
if
go ahead.
if you want to find out more about it, you are more than welcome to email me. My email is on the screen. Jot that down.
Okay.
And then we can talk more about it and see if this will be a good fit for you. But yes, if you're interested in growing your business, I will definitely be more than happy to, help you along the way. And maybe possibly get you into this next cohort that begins on Wednesday. Okay?
All right. And then, do we got time for one more?
Absolutely.
Okay. Valencia Green.
Hi, yes. I want to know if we have time for me to pitch my pitch to you.
Sure. You want to do that
Okay.
now? Oh, as long as
Yes.
it's like 30 seconds. You got a short one or you got a long
Yes.
one?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead, Valencia.
Okay. So I'm in Target and I see a potential client in the baby aisle. And I walk up and I say, "Hi, mom and baby. My name is Yaya. I am a doula. Are you familiar with a doula service?"
That's good.
Okay. I support families during pregnancy, birth, and postpartum, creating a birthing experience and a postpartum visit. I would like to give you my card, or we can set up a time where you and I can talk to have a connection to see how I may best serve your family during this wonderful time of life.
It
May
sounds
I
good
have
to
your
me.
number?
Yes. It sounds
Okay.
really good to me. I mean, you kind of hesitated a little bit, but it is definitely something that you are building on, I could tell. And I think that sounds really good. It sounds like Valencia knows who I am and what I do as far as speech goes. We've been here before.
Yes, yes. The first time you were like, "I'm not pregnant." This is a
You're
couple,
right. I
and I was like,
remember.
"No, I'm setting the tone." So yes, yeah.
You did so much better this time. Well, listen,
Thank
I mean,
you.
I'm always here so to help with anyone that's looking to work on their public speaking skills from a business standpoint.
Okay.
Jot down my email. You can make time to meet with me.
Okay.
You don't have to chase me down in these webinars.
Well, no, I wanted to come on because I'm
I know.
always learning something new from you.
Yeah,
Like even
I
with
love
this
it.
one, your study making us think outside the
Absolutely.
box.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm just joking. I definitely enjoy doing this and talking to business owners like yourself. So definitely make time, meet with me and we can definitely make some things happen for you to feel a little more confident and comfortable with your approach to new clients. So thanks so much for sharing this time around. I'm so glad that you saved it for me.
All right, it looks like that was the end of our questions, and then it's a shame you can't see the chat because everyone's just saying thank you, thank you. Wonderful
Oh,
presentation, learned so much, awesome presenter. Um, Thank you. So yeah, so sorry you
well,
can't see it,
good.
but yeah, I think we're all good. So thank you so much for your time, Myeisha.
Awesome.
Everyone quickly get down her email that's on the screen. And thank you for attending this morning's webinar and have a great weekend, everybody.
Goodbye. Thank you, everyone.